Hi guys, rise and shine to yet another beautiful day. Happy Sunday, you guys. Yesterday was a beautiful day. It was sunny outside. It was chilly. Sorry guys. Again, my phone does that sometimes. But yesterday was a really beautiful day. It was sunny outside. Chilly, but I was happy to see that there was sunshine out. And it's funny because, like I said, I came to you guys yesterday, and I actually was going to be on a date yesterday, right? What's up, Sharonda? How are you? Oh, thank you. I tried to do something different today with my hair. So I was supposed to go on a date. I went live. I talked about that and how I don't like indecisiveness in men. And he just was unsure, unclear, just indecisive about what he wanted to do for the first date. So I'm just like, listen, I'm going to plan my day. I'm not going to waste my entire day waiting on you to come up with an idea for where to go to eat, right? Now, it would be different if he would have said, well, where would you like to go? I just got a sense, like, subliminally, like he didn't really want to go out anyway, right? So I'm just like, whatever, right? So I went out to Brooklyn, went to Prospect Park, enjoyed my walk through the park, and I actually ended up on Flatbush Avenue. Now, I did not intend to go shopping necessarily. I actually was going to go to a restaurant on Flatbush Avenue and get my pedicure done. Instead, though, I couldn't resist. There's this one of my favorite African shops on Flatbush Avenue I go to called Safari Tribe. They have the best in African attire. So I stopped in there and I found some things which I am going to show you guys. I'm going to try them on here in this video. So that's a little treat. And so after that, I came back home. Actually, when I was in Brooklyn, I also stopped at a Caribbean, West Indian restaurant and got me some curry chicken and rice and beans. It was good. Came back home, right, and I'm chilling. I told the guy that I would call him when I got back and we can do video chat so we can see each other for the first time on camera, right? Sharonda, let me know if this is coming in clear and if the sound and video are in sync, because sometimes my video, it chops up and I don't understand why it does that. So yeah, we did video chat and Sharonda, y'all. Now, I don't know if you ever done this with a guy, right? Where you meet him offline and you want to do video chat, right? Just to get a feel of how he is. It's clear. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. To get a feel like, okay, yeah, let me know because this video is something else to it. And so we sign on. I use Google Duo. I do not have an iPhone, right? I really don't care to get one. So we use Google Duo. We both have an Android, right? We use Google Duo. And then, like, the video connects, right? Because first I'm calling him. I'm like, it's ringing. And I'm like, okay. Is he afraid to pick up? What's going on? He picks up, right? And then he's sitting there. And I'm looking, you know, me, I have to, like glance and get a good, like, survey of a person's face, right? And then their body. And I'm looking at him. He's sitting on his new couch that he purchased, right? It's a leather couch, brown, that he just purchased a couple days ago. And I'm looking at his face. And there's something kind of peculiar about his face, like the shape of his mouth. It wasn't equal, right? Like, I'm like, what is going on in my mind? I'm thinking, like, what is going on with his face? It's like his mouth is kind of crooked a little bit. But I noticed that a lot of New York men have like these kind of like disheveled looking mouths, right? I didn't draw attention to it initially, right? So I'm looking at him and he's looking at me. And then he had said that he had slipped and fell the other day, right? Because that's the day that we were getting ready for snow. And I guess typically the superintendents of the buildings, like in New York and New Jersey, they are responsible for laying out salt, right, on the ground to to absorb the snow, so that it reduces the likelihood of people getting injured and falling and things like that. But he fell, and so he was saying that he fell, right? He said that he's in a lot of pain. This was the other day. This is a lot going on with this guy, right? That's the reason why I'm gonna tell you guys. Like, I had to fucking cut his ass off. I had to just not just cancel the date, but cancel his ass altogether, right? So he's saying that he fell. He fell on his side. His hip is swollen. He said his face was swollen, right? So I'm looking at his face when we went and did the video, right? The Google Duo video yesterday. And I'm like, okay, is that what you're talking about? Your mouth is swollen? He was like, oh no, he's doing this, right? And I'm just like, talk. But anyway, so I'm looking at his mouth because that's where it seems to be like the most pronounced difference that I see in his face. Like, it's unusual, right? And it just looked like he had a stroke. Like his, how some, like people's face, of course, is not completely identical, right? Symmetrical, but his face was very asymmetrical, right? Like his mouth, and I think he was trying to like purposely like make it even, make it align so it's symmetrical, but I just couldn't help but notice like his mouth was kind of crooked, and it looked like part of it was like numb, where it didn't move, right? I don't know, but that kind of threw me off guard. So then we're talking, I think over time, like his mouth kind of became more symmetrical. It came like more looking normal, right? Normal looking. And then dude is like I said, I know I said that I like the awkwardness in him, right? Because I feel like I can resonate with that. But at the same time, dude, just annoying, yo. Like, we're talking and somehow COVID comes up, right? And he's fascinated by the topic of COVID. Me, I'm like, I've been over it. I never really was interested in talking about COVID. That's, to me, it, like, for what, right? So we're on the topic of COVID, and he's saying how he lost a female friend to COVID like a couple months ago, and he has a friend in Texas who has his own house. He held a party. Then days later, he found out that he had COVID. This is his friend in Texas. And then he's just like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to have any parties here. Like, what the fuck that got to do with what the hell that got to do with our conversation? But anyway, I was like, I don't think I'm going to have any parties here because I don't want to get COVID. And I'm like, honestly, I don't think that it's a good idea to be having, like, just inviting random people over your place anyway, right? So we're on COVID for like 5-10 minutes, and I'm like, at the point, just talking about COVID, I'm like, can we talk about something else? Because I'm not interested in COVID, right? And so he was like, what do you want to talk about? And so here is a kicker, right? I said, well, given that we haven't really thoroughly addressed the issue, let's talk about what I found online in those news articles. And he's like, his face is like, what is there to talk about? Kind of playing like this fucking entanglement game, right? It's like you're asking me, what do I want to talk about? And then I suggest something, and he's just like, oh, well, why do you want to talk about that? I don't see anything to talk about. I was like, all right, let it go. We don't have to talk about it. We'll talk about something else, right? When the conversation, right, when you get to know a person, when it starts to get to that, where you're like debating and having conflict over just what to talk about, I feel like, nah, dog. It's not organic, and I began to lose interest because I've been in many conversations with guys, right, I'm getting to know, and it flows organically. Like, the conversations just, we find ourselves, we don't even realize, like, we've been on the phone for like hours, right? Literally like 3-4 hours, because it's just that like involved and engaging. But this guy, he's like too fucking weird, a little bit off. And so I'm like, okay, you don't want to talk about it, let this shit go, because I do not want a headache. I don't want to sit up here and be going back and forth, and you're being defensive about wanting to talk about this past, which he claims is distant, which is not really that distant, right? Because the news articles were from November 2021 that I saw. Now, given, because I already kind of had like a suspicion that I'm not going to continue to pursue this. Part of me, yes, I know I said that I was curious, but then another part of me was just like still kind of taking note of, nah. So, given that I know I'm not going to continue with this guy, I can go ahead and say what the fucking charges were. So I read a news article, right? When I Google his name, because I was curious to see, like, who is this guy, right? And that's the thing about online dating. It's awkward, and people have to be able to kind of accept the awkwardness of it and what comes along with it. Men, like, on dating sites be like, oh, I don't know why women are so, like, defended or guarded, you know, or they don't have much to say. Like, yeah, it's gonna be difficult to kind of nurture a conversation, especially on the app, right, where you through texting, because it's already a level of distrust there on a dating site. Like, we don't know each other. People, it's all kind of people on there. Scam artists, you got fucking creeps on there. So yes, like, it requires some courage, right? And I think a degree of assertiveness, I think, on behalf of both parties, right? But I think especially men, because that's just the traditional dynamic of men kind of taking the lead and being more vulnerable first, right? Being the first to just step out there, you know, and then the woman will follow. And men are more like reserved and less bold to just, you know, introduce yourself, you know, share some things about yourself, not really like intimate details necessarily, but that could help, you know, I mean, build intimacy. That can help build like transparency when you're, you know, you're open. When you're open, then a woman typically tends to kind of fall in place. But yeah, this guy, so when I typed in his name on Google, right, I see news stories recent, from November 2021 pop up saying that he was involved in a hit and run crash, and he was involved in a police chase, right? Lit, right? I'm like, that shit's kind of fucking off the chain. And so when the police finally stopped him, they caught up with him. It was reported that he had alcohol and fucking crack cocaine in the car. Now, of course, he denies it, right? And that kind of ties into, like, okay, his expression on his face when I first went on video with him yesterday. I'm looking at his face. I'm looking at his eyes, and his eyes do this weird thing, like, it's like, he's like, so I didn't say anything about it, but I'm making note of it. So he denies using alcohol, but yet they found alcohol. It's just like, I find, like, guys, it's very annoying, right? Just be 100 about it. Like, lying makes you look worse when you lie, right? Because no one is stupid. No one is stupid, right? But I'm going along with it because I like a good story. And it's fascinating, right? I like adventure. Not to say that I'm going to be involved with this guy, but I'm curious, right? So, of course, when I brought it to his attention a couple days ago, he denies it, right? He's like, no. He's like, that's me. He did confirm that it was him, right, in the story. However, he said, oh, no, I didn't have the alcohol. I didn't have the crack cocaine. They just put that. They just put that on me, right, Rashina? Right. And so I'm like, okay. But I continue to kind of go along because this guy is kind of interesting. He's, you know, attractive. He's in shape. He works out. He eats healthy. He's showing me pictures of the food that he likes to cook. He shows me pictures of the food that he cooks. I'm like, okay. And then going back to the conversation about COVID and wanting to switch gears and talk about, I feel like things that's more relevant, things that I'm curious about and concerned about, right? So he again spins it to try to make it seem as though I am fixated on negativity, right? And dwelling in his past. I'm like, no, sweetheart. That's of importance. You can't just act like, okay, brush it on the rug like it's not important, like it doesn't exist. It's relevant. We're talking about something that happened in November, but he doesn't want to talk about it. So I had to just say, like, stop right there, right? I say, I get the sense that you are the kind of person, if you were to have children, you would try to, like, portray yourself as this innocent man. You never did anything wrong, which to me is not really attractive, right? I just like realness. You know, I don't have any kids, but I always say, like, listen, I'm going to be real with my kids and let my kids know this is a life that your mom had. You know what I'm saying? There's some things that she got into, so to teach them as learning lessons, right? You don't have to hide, like family, like especially black families kind of get caught up in this secret thing, the family secrets, and shh, don't talk about it. I don't like that. That's not me, right? So that's the kind of approach that he was having on the phone, where, like I said, after I Google searched his name and I found those articles recent from November 2021, it led me to be curious to see, okay, well, if there's a recent news article about him concerning a hit and run crash and possession of drugs and alcohol, then he has to have a criminal history. And so that's when I took to the inmate search website for New York, and then I saw he has previous charges. Now, granted, the charges were, like you said, 20 years ago charges, right, when he was like 19 years old. But the charges still were there, right? And it's for armed robbery. And I'm just like, okay, let's talk about it. Now, in his mind, he's like, oh, well, I'm over that. I'm a changed. If you're such a changed man, why are you so protective of being able to talk about that? Yeah, it's like, let's be real. I'm like, you're not the first person. You're not the first guy that I've encountered, or the first guy in general that has a criminal history. We all have fucking histories. And when I've met and talked to mature men, right, who have histories, criminal histories, and are, you know, have moved on from it, they can talk openly and freely about it, because that is the past. That's no longer who they are. I think the reason why he's so guarded against talking about it, because that is a big part of who he still is, right? He's so gung-ho about, oh, that's not me, I'm not the same, and he's making assumptions about what I think about him, not even giving me the chance to formulate an opinion and verbalize it. He's just like, you know, automatically being defended, assuming that I'm going to take the judgmental stance. And I'm just like, hello, I'm a therapist. Most therapists are non-judgmental, and to be honest, most therapists, we have our own fucking extensive history. That's the reason why we can relate and identify with clients and be able to build rapport so easily, right? So he's like super guarded, and to me, that's concerning, right? And so he's trying to spin it as though my interest in talking about his past is more fixated on being like focused on the negative, right? And he was like, yeah, I see that you're more consumed with negativity, like people watching TV, they always want to look for the drama. I'm like, first of all, I don't even watch TV, right? And second of all, I'm not consumed and obsessed with drama. In fact, this whole fucking back and forth with you, like, I don't have time for this, because it became like this back and forth argument when we going back and forth, and it's not communication. I like fucking communication that's progressive, not arguing and yelling and shouting and him being defensive. And like, I'm like, listen, you feel like it's obviously you're moved to guard that part of your life, right? You're very protective when it comes to talking. It's like, well, honestly, because when I brought up the whole my idea about what kind of person that he would be if he had children, as acting like portraying himself as if like, oh, he's this fucking innocent angel and he doesn't have a past. Which is really not helpful, I think, for children growing up, because that's just not the world we live in, right? This is a fucking real world, and there's a lot of challenges that we face, right? And we make mistakes in life. So I think it's better for parents to be a role model in the sense of just being a real model. That's my perspective, right? So then he said, oh, no, like I do when I speak to children, young children, I tell them don't be like me. I say, okay, well, if you're able to have conversations with younger children about your past, I think he just made that shit up on the fly. Honestly, I don't think that he has conversations with, especially strangers, right? Like stranger children. No, that's bullshit. He just said that to try to like validate his point, right, and strengthen his argument. But I'm like, if that's the case, right, if you're that open, right, and you're able to talk, because we see stories, right, with men who have criminal histories, they moved on from that, and they do go and do talks with younger children, like in schools or whatever, and prison systems and centers and things like that, rehab centers, and they talk freely and openly about it, right? So if you can talk open, if you're saying this is what you do and you talk openly and freely about it, then why is it so difficult for you to talk about it with me? Right? That's how you know. I'm just like, nah, this nigga full of shit. Yo, that's why I'm like, it's bullshit. I don't buy it. I just don't buy it, right? So, like, I'm not about to sit up here and just like play games and go back and forth and argue. I don't have the time. I'm not about to and waste time investing. I say, you know what, like, this isn't gonna work. This is just not gonna work. And I lose interest in the guy. I say, you know, it's better that we just kind of go our separate ways. I really have no interest in meeting you face to face. Granted, we were, you know, planning a date because he fucked up yesterday, not knowing what to do. So I was like, okay, I'll give him some more time to decide. And, you know, we were planning to meet up today. But then, you know, it was raining in the forecast. But either way, I'm just like, I'm not, you know what, I can't do this. I can't. I'm not interested. I just can't. It could have worked, but it's the lack of transparency. Like, I'm not expecting him to pour out, you know, intimate details. Just the way I think he responded to just talking about the issue, that to me was concerning. Like, being overly protective over it. And then to find out that he has these fucking news stories on him and I bring it to the table, he tried to twist it and make it seem like, oh, now I'm the culprit. Like, oh, I shouldn't have fucking Google search his name. Nah, dog. I don't like that. So that is that. But I did decide, like I said, to go to this store in Brooklyn. I like to treat myself to nice things. And I didn't get my nails done, actually. I got these newspapers from this West Indian restaurant where I got my curry chicken from. So I picked this up mainly for my patients because I work with men and they like to read newspapers. So I do have to take out, let's see if they have staples in them. No, this doesn't have staples. But yeah, like that shit right there, I'm like, nah, dog, nah. It's all about how you approach a conversation. Then he pulls the psychologist card on me. He's like, well, you're talking to me like a psychologist and not like a person. Because he knows that, like, if you didn't know if I was a psychologist, you wouldn't be able to say that, right? So throw that bullshit away. If I never told him that I was a psychologist, he wouldn't be able to pull the psychologist card and say, oh, I'm talking to him like a psychologist. No, I'm talking to you like I got fucking a brain as a woman. Tell me what woman, right? Because this is argument and I'm going to move on from this. Oh, I'm about to show you, girl, what I got. I actually got 4 pieces. And I'm about to try them on because I didn't try them on yesterday when I was at the shop. But he goes, oh, you're talking to me like a psychologist and not like a person. Now tell me what woman in her right mind who stumbles across an article of that nature, right? And then his criminal history is going to say, all right, you know what? I'm not going to talk about that. We don't have to, just ignore it, right? It doesn't exist. Just ignore it. Now these are recent charts. Just ignore it. Crack cocaine. Oh, ignore it. Instead, let's talk about your LinkedIn profile. This is what he's saying. He's like, I have a whole LinkedIn profile with all of my accomplishments and my certifications because he does construction, right? He was like, I have all of that on LinkedIn, but instead you choose to want to talk about, like, don't play me, yo. Do not fucking play me, okay? Okay, so this is the first piece right here. Now, I was skeptical because I'm wondering, like, is this going to fit, right? But this does stretch. These are pants, and this is a waist, and it does stretch. And it's funny, with African clothing, I always find it difficult to see which is the front and which is the back, because it almost looks identical, and they oftentimes don't put tags in it. So let's just go with this, okay? Let's see. Exactly, right? Can't fucking run game on me. I know that shit was going to be problematic if I would have continued talking to him. And then it would have been other shit popping up, right? And his approach is, oh, no. It's nothing. That's his approach. If it's negative concerning fucking shit that he did that's wrong, oh, no, you're dwelling on negativity. Could you imagine marrying somebody like that? Having children with someone like that? Oh, no. He makes a mistake. He does something, whether mistake or intentional. And he's like, oh, no. When you want to talk about it, let's talk about it, right? Oh, no. You're dwelling in negativity. Nah, that shit don't work with me. I actually like these, yo. I might wear this tomorrow. But this, like, the way this is made, like this scrunchy part at the top, it's weird, right? It seems like it should come up higher than this. Like, I shouldn't be concerned, right? Like, it's not that I'm judging you or it's a deal breaker necessarily. What's a deal breaker is you refusing to talk about it. You having did whatever you did in the past, it's not necessarily a deal breaker. That's what I kept trying to let him know. But it's something with his brain. I kind of think he kind of slow. Because even like the way he was talking, he's just like talking real slow and moving slow and just stuck on the same shit. He just kept fucking repeating himself. I'm like, nah, dog. I'll leave you by yourself. I like these though. I like the colors. This is similar to my bifall coat. That I have two bifall coats that I actually got from that same place in Brooklyn. So I love it. Oh, so like I like the feet part because scrunchy around the feet too. So this kind of thick. I think these might be thicker. And so I'm wearing spandex up under these because it is cold. I like them. Alright, so that's the first piece. The second piece, I guess this is a shirt, but it could be a dress. I hope it fits because, like I said, I didn't try any of these items on. So let's see here. I like this color. And I like the cut of it. It's cute. It has pockets. It's made just for me. I like the thickness of the material too. So I might wear this tomorrow to work. Color is nice. It pops. Yeah. Sharana, do you have any African attire? All right. my head like this. Style my hair, but probably would have been better if I just left it down. I don't think I'm going anywhere today. It's supposed to rain. I kind of want to go for a nice walk, and then I might go get my feet done. Alright, so I have 2 more items that I got, and they are dresses. One of my favorite artists, Bob Marley. Oh yeah, I love it. This is definitely me. And collect it in the same way, just a little harder to find here. So when I leave town, it's the first thing I search for. Oh yes, remind me, girl. You know I have a fucked up memory. And you live in one of those places that is not like a popular place, right? It's kind of low key, so I think that's why I be forgetting where you live. I know it's somewhere that's very cold, but I keep forgetting the name of it. So this is kind of shaped like at the bottom. It's like a triangle. Like that. Or a diamond, shall I say. Or like a diamond. I like it. What does it say? Bob Marley. That's what it says. I can wear this to work. Hey. But I wouldn't wear it like sleeveless. Because we have some, like on my ward, some of the men are like sexually reactive and inappropriate. So I wouldn't want to be showing my arms. So I would wear like maybe a long sleeve shirt underneath. If I was to wear this to work. Alaska, okay. Now I can remember. So yeah, Alaska is still one of the U.S. states, right? And it is, it borders the west side of Canada, right? I feel like dancing with this on. Alright, so this is one, and then I have one more dress I'm about to try on. Yeah, I love it too. Shopping is like my anti-drug. Going shopping. You know, because it makes me feel good when I shop. The thing about this is like a onesie, right? So these are like, this is a short onesie. But the top, I don't like, sometimes like slides down. So this, she said it was like a one size fits all, which is kind of true for a lot of clothing, African clothing. But this was made in Thailand. It's made in Thailand. Yes, I can be silly sometimes. Don't worry. Alright, I have one more. I think it might be this. I know it's not. It can't be the exact same as the other one. Similar, but not the exact same. So yeah, his way of so-called talking about his charges was going onto the same website, the inmate search website, and reading the charges, right? So I said, so when did it happen? He was like, I don't even remember. Right? He's like, I don't remember. Let me go see. I said, how long were you in prison? He was like, I don't remember. Let me go look it up. He's like completely detached, right, from his past. Completely detached, which I don't think that's a good thing. It's one thing to, move on from your past, but to completely detach yourself as if you have no memory recall, yeah. That's a problem. So it's similar the way it's designed, but it's different. I love it. I like the colors more than anything. I like that it's Bob Marley, but also I just like the colors of it. And it fits me. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds upon my doorstep. Hey. It's true. This is my message for you. Don't worry about a thing. I would play the song, but then I wouldn't be able to monetize my video. So, yeah. You like onesies? Yeah. Me too. Girl, you way up there. Maybe I can come visit you. Do you stay by yourself? Maybe one day I'll do like a nice road trip. Come visit. Hey, about a thing. I like that song. I shot the sheriff. We were playing that song in one of my therapy groups, and I was asking the guys, like, what do you think the song means? But I didn't shoot the deputy. So they were educating me, telling me that the sheriff is actually higher than the deputy. I'm like, really? To say you shot the top dog in the force, but you didn't shoot the deputy. You're saying something there. I shot the sheriff, but I didn't shoot the deputy. Yeah. So this is the last piece that I got. I have a little nice house, just me, 2,600 square feet. 4-bedroom home. You go, girl. Okay. Okay. That's what's up. You did say that you started a new job. Right? That's nice. What kind of job is it? Did you tell me? I shot the sheriff. I like that song. Stolen from Africa, brought to America. I will. I understand history. I've always maintained. I heard that. And you single too, huh? These men just cannot get it right. Can't get it right to save their life. Oh, okay. You work in pain management. At a clinic? I was thinking about dyeing my hair again, but I'm going to wait. I'll probably wait a couple months. And then, because the 2 colors I dyed my hair last time was bronze and and I think red copper. I love those two colors. I'm just like, it was surprising to see like how they took to my hair. I was like, oh, this is pretty. Kinda, I just do what I want. I heard that. Yep, at a clinic, procedures all day long. Okay. Interesting. I like what I do too, like at my job. It's pretty laid back. Not too intense, though. I guess the patients, you know, diagnoses are pretty severe, but it's manageable. I work with a team. So there's psychiatrists on my team, social worker, treatment team leader, nurse, medical doctor, and then I'm the psychologist on the team. And like every ward at the hospital has like the same makeup of team players. Hello, did you go to church today? No, I did not go to fucking church today. Don't get me started. I don't go to church. But did you go to church today? That's one thing I don't like these self-righteous church people, right? Which they're fucking demon-filled. They're like the most demonic people, I would say, on earth. A lot of them, not all, but a lot, right? And it's funny because I was actually watching a replay of a video that I made when I went to the sex toy store, and I just shared it on my Facebook page. And while I was at the sex toy store, I think the store was in the Bronx. And I was so happy. It was a nice store that I had heard about and I wanted to go check it out. I'm on the live and somebody commented talking about, you need to go to church. No, you need to get your motherfucking ass off my goddamn live, okay? Just because you do, that's you. What you do is what you do. Don't try to impose what you do onto somebody else, because that's where we have problems. If you believe in white Jesus and you want to go to church, then that's what you do, right? I don't believe in white Jesus. I do believe in a higher power. But no. My church is my sanctuary where I live. Me burning my incense. Me just relaxing, burning my sage. You know, being in my own elegant self. That's my church. There you have it. Me doing mindful meditation. It's a lifestyle for me. Going on walks. Another thing I have an issue with this. I love my African men. Don't get me wrong. I love you guys. But some of y'all are very annoying because y'all be jumping on my posts talking about, can I send you money? No, I cannot send you no motherfucking money. Listen, in America, you work, you get your ass up and you go and work and you get your money, right? I know shit is different over there. Y'all saying that the leadership is bad and da 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 da. Yeah, you see he left, right? Thank you. But I get it. But y'all have y'all ways of surviving and the cost of living is much different. I think it's an insult and I take it to be offensive when a man asks me for money. Just like, I meant to say. So while I was talking to that guy, I'm talking to another guy, and he calls me while I'm out in Brooklyn yesterday and asked me, because I told him I was getting food on my way home. He was like, "Oh, can I get him something?" Hell no, we never even met. You shouldn't be asking a woman to buy you nothing, to get you nothing. I don't have a problem getting things for my partner. You don't even have to ask. I'm just gonna bring it home. But we're not together. Don't tell me, I was just joking. Nah, dog. Nah. Don't joke like that. Oh, yeah. Nag Champa is like my favorite incense. Yes, yes, yes. I love Nag Champa. I haven't burnt Nag Champa, though, in a while because I get my incense from this store in Brooklyn called Medina. So they have like a variety of different flavors. But I know what you're talking about, the original Nag Champa that are made in India. I love those. I get those, every now and then from this store that I go to in the Village in Lower Manhattan. So, yeah. I love interacting with Africans, but I can't sending nobody no damn money. No, like, you supposed to be taking care of moi. You know what I'm saying? They want you to take care of them. Nah, dog. And then the whole time you got a phone. Okay, you got a phone. They look at us like we're so rich, right? But you got a phone. I feel like if you that damn poor, but you got a phone, you able to get online and you go to their profile and they well dressed, they got pictures up and all this kind of stuff. Like, come on, man. I got into a debate and I was in California with this African. I'm like, listen, don't come over here with that bullshit. Nah. Do not come over here with that. You stay your ass. You got your beliefs. You stay yourself over there. You whitewash. You're colonized by the Europeans and you believe that's the way to go. Then you stay with that damn brainwashing and stay your ass the fuck away from me, okay? Because I consider you to be very toxic in nature with that whitewash, brainwash mentality. Anyway, I want to end this video. I think we've been on here long enough. I'll tell my mom the same thing. My mom go to church. Like, you go, take your ass to church. It's funny that I did go to my sister's church when I went to visit my family in Florida. My mom invited me because my sister, she was performing, right? She was like, she does like the mime dancing, right, to the music. And I think it's interesting. I wanted to support her in her performance. So then I went then. But even when I went, like, I felt like, oh, I'm so glad, like, I removed myself from that. Because I'm very spiritual. I pick up on energy, like, and I'm in there and I can see, like, you can see demons in people. Like, all the motherfuckers are possessed. Demonic as hell, y'all. The real work comes when you detach yourself from these organized religious sects and you go into solitude, right? You go into isolation, right? That's like what shamans do. That's where the real work comes, the real deep spiritual work comes in. Not when you going to church every Sunday singing and dancing and with the whole fucking show, right? But yeah, I remember that was the last time I went to church. This was back in, I think, October. And I'm just like, they looking at me and I look at them. You looking at me a certain kind of way. I'm looking at you a certain kind of way. And there was a man, I don't know if he was a deacon or what the hell he was. He was up there in the pulpit. And he had a camera, right? But it was like the church's like anniversary or something, a pastor anniversary. So I guess he was taking pictures like of, you know, the event. But I felt like he was like zeroing in on me, right? Because, you know, they have times where, oh, you stand and you read the scriptures and you stand and like, I'm not standing. I'm sitting my ass down. You can't make me do what everybody else is doing. If I want to stand, then I'll stand. If I want to sit, my ass is going to sit. I'm sitting. They're looking at me like... They do the altar call and I ain't going up there. No, I don't need y'all to lay y'all demons on me. Okay? Keep that shit over there. No, this is a choker, but it's made like this. So, it's open in the back. I wore it to work. So, just in case a patient tries to grab me, it's going to come right off, right? It's not going to be like... Big salute from Morocco, North Africa. Yeah, I need to make my way there. This year, I will go to Africa. But I got to end this video. I'm going to catch you guys later. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace, love, and light.